Jack, tell me about your film, just like a quick, I guess, synopsis and what your role was on the production.
Sure. I am one of the directors of Nuisance. Gabriela Osio Vanden is also a director. She's unfortunately on set today and can't make this Q&A. We started going to Churchill when we were still students at York University. I had never heard of the place. I'm originally an American, so I didn't even know there were polar bears in Canada. So our introduction to the place, I guess, was through Planet Earth. And so we had kind of had an idea of the animals and the place before we went there, I guess. And then we were both really shocked by the circus that has just come up around ecotourism and polar bears. And from all the media that we had seen, we were just we thought there was a great opportunity to tell a short film from the perspective of a bear without any real talking or music. And that was kind of the concept. And then we drove from Toronto to Churchill in our Forerunner with all of our equipment so that we would be self-contained while we were there because it was shooting during COVID. And we drove around for like 40 days and we just sort of followed polar bears as they navigated this obstacle course of paparazzi and a wildlife officer whose job is to deter bears safely away from town.
Wow, that's a great synopsis. I almost don't have to ask you any questions
Oh,
now.
thanks.
You've ruined this for me. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
I'll try to make up some questions right now. How about we talk a little bit more about like your cinematography? Like, I feel like the film is very lyrical. It's like poetic. Tell me about your approach to that, and obviously working for 40 days. I mean, that helps to get all those moments. But how did you go about that whole process?
Yeah. Well, centering the camera or placing the camera at eye level with the polar bear was really important for us. And so we needed to think about, we kind of just watched the behind the scenes videos of Planet Earth for the polar bear episode, frankly, and just saw the way that they were mounting cameras. And, we quickly realized we weren't going to be able to afford the equipment that they use, but as working cinematographers, we do have access to a lot of great stuff. And so we were able to put a camera on the front of our car and sort of just drive around following polar bears. And so, I don't even know that we realized we were making a film while we were shooting. We've been going back and forth for about 5 or 6 years and working on this feature documentary that we're hoping to develop out of this short. And so we came back to Toronto and we started looking at the material and we just felt like maybe the images were capturing sort of a narrative in themselves without too much, tweaking or adding any unnecessary, I don't know, music or whatnot. And then people were just really responding strongly to that. So we just sort of stuck with that sort of core idea and focused really on just maintaining what was happening in the images. And I guess that's it.
Do you want to talk about like the choice to not have, a Morgan Freeman narration or like any like music? I mean,
Sure.
it's quite counterintuitive for a film like this. Like it's a silent bear film. How do you sell people on that idea?
Well, we actually couldn't sell anyone on the idea, and so the whole thing is self-financed. You know, yeah, I don't think it was entirely intentional to have no interviews or music. I think something that we recognize in Planet Earth is that or just in filmmaking in general, is music is so influential on your emotions, and especially with wildlife films, it feels like music is used very heavily, and so it felt natural to just sort of move away from that idea. Um, and so, that combined with kind of having trouble getting access to the wildlife officers and with COVID and us feeling kind of insecure about being in this sort of northern community, being from Toronto. We had a bunch of interviews set up, but we kind of canceled some of them. And then some of the interviews canceled on us. And we just were left with very little footage of people talking about the subject. And so we sort of just made the most of what we had.
And it worked out astoundingly. That's
Thank you.
amazing. It's great you're giving us all this sort of insight into your actual process, because yeah, it's just unexpected, and it all
Thanks.
worked out for your film. Can you tell me
Yeah.
a little bit about the success you had?
Well, the film had its world premiere at TIFF, which was obviously a huge honor. We had our international premiere at IDFA, which is the largest documentary film festival in the world, and they have a real strong emphasis on creative nonfiction. And so we were really, thrilled to be participating in that festival, which was actually in person. And then we're going to be playing at True Falls Film Festival in about a week. And then after that, we're going to South by Southwest, which is in person. So we're really excited for that too. And then we just found out, I guess, 2 weeks ago that the film's been nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for Best Short Documentary.
That's incredible. Congrats on all of the success. Do I have anything else that I can ask in the next 2 minutes here? Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what a larger version of this film is going to be like. And again, thanks for taking time to chat with us, and thanks for bringing this film to the world. I guess I do have one last thing.
Hit me.
What do you hope people are going to take from this film? Because you don't have those dialogues, you don't have the music. What are you trying to communicate to the audience?
Oh, that's a tough question to answer in 2 minutes. I feel like we kind of want people to take away what their own impression of the experience. We didn't really want to tell anyone too much about it. And, you know, for some people that maybe isn't the type of film that they want to see or they enjoy. But we're just hoping that people get maybe they ask themselves critical questions when they're, you know, participating or going to participate in ecotourism or other sorts of travel activities, because there is an impact and it's something that maybe hasn't been discussed enough yet.
That's fantastic. Jack, thanks again for taking time to chat with us. And we wish you all the best luck with the film.
Thank you so much, Richard. We really appreciate it.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. Don't get